Collective. Spirit says that crusty, dusty, musty, which is a group of people, copycat energy, are now looking crazy because they were playing around with rusted nails. Somebody wanted to be a rusty nail in your left foot. Copycat energy, spell work backfired, chaos magic backfired. Listen. Welcome to Spiritual Core TV, where we talk about all things spiritual. If it was done in the spirit, we're going to find out. We represent the divine truth, right? The truth spell has been made powerful, but so many people projected their lies onto the truth. They wanted you to come up in their energy, okay? But divine truth stripped it all away. So let's get into it. Rusty, musty, and dusty. If you're returning back, welcome back. If you're new, come on in. Bring your higher self, bring your spirit team. Big shout out to Source. This means that the divine is presiding over your spiritual case, right? So when you get to this level with divinity and divination and you're talking directly to the divine, that means that your protection is so amplified that anybody thinking the idea of being a rusty nail in your left foot, trying to dirty up your feet or make your path dirty, is coming up against the great I am, the Alpha and the Omega, that goes by a whole bunch of names. And with that comes a lot of divine spiritual protection. So these are not recommendations. Like, we don't recommend that people fraternize musty, crusty, and dusty, playing with rusted nails, is what I just heard. We don't know what that stuff is soaked in. Somebody thought that they were going to hot foot you off of your path, burn you off of your path, burn your feet, burn you at the stake, humiliate you. Source showed up. Creator chimed in. The Creator is here. And this is why you have peace that is surpassing all their drastic, musty, crusty, rusted nails, dusty ass magic. Their magic is not that magical unless there's magic in it. And right now, Source is saying, you're being crowned the real magi. A demon, a nefarious person could never. This is somebody that was burning candles day and night, okay? They couldn't sleep. They didn't know. They were tossing and turning, burning a candle, demonic, nefarious, diabolical bondage by way of just being a dusty, crusty, musty ass, unclean spirit is what I just heard, okay? This person wanted your insight. They were very optimistic in a very foolish way that they would be gaining your gifts, okay? When Source popped out in the middle of all of what was going on, these people did not know what to do. When the Creator walks with you, when Source of all things walks with you, when you have Christ consciousness at your feet, meaning Christ is walking with you, 333 on the timer, your foot will never stumble. These are people that wanted to bind your feet. They wanted to make you like Toby. They wanted to cut off your left foot. And if they could not, then they wanted to be the rusty nail in your left foot, that no matter where you went, people would piggyback off of this magic. Now, what they did was, coincidentally, simultaneously called on all of the people that were going against you, and they set them up spiritually. Because when these people decided to attack a chosen one, collective chosen one, your defender was Source. Source had to chime in and say, what are y'all doing? And that was a rhetorical question, because Source knows all things, right? These people didn't have an answer. Your ancestors are demanding an answer. These people got caught trying to steal from you, trying to backdoor you. They didn't know you had security and cameras at the back door. Larceny, spiritual robbery, spiritual embezzlement. Okay? They wanted to steal your intuition, your insight, because they were struggling. These are unclean spirits that have attached themselves to other unclean spirits. And so therefore, they're very demonic energies, okay? They plotted, they planned, oh, we're going to do this spiritual robbery, spiritual burglary, spiritual embezzlement. This is spiritual larceny. And now that ass is getting spiritual judgment by way of divine source. Okay. Their source is not your source. Their source is demonic. Their source was El Diablo. Okay. So source is now calling El Diablo into divine spiritual court. Hey, El Diablo, what's going on? What deal did these people make with you? Well, they just said they wanted this, that. Well, El Diablo, you know that this is somebody that is chosen. It's not supposed to be touched. Yeah, but you made the deal anyway. Yeah, because the devil is a liar. And these were liars who got lied to. So they can't be mad when the devil returns to them to collect. They can't be mad that the devil lied to them when they lied to the devil about wanting something from somebody that they did not deserve, that they had not worked for. Lighting a candle is not going to, okay, I stand corrected. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Lighting a candle alone is not going to bring you enlightenment, especially when you're dedicated to doing nefarious things. These people were working in some nasty work. They were working in some very nasty work, musty, crusty, dusty. What happened to those rusted nails? Now they're snapping. Now they're unhinged. Why? Because they know that the great I am walks with you. Okay. You're in this energy of optimism, wish, something like that. Wish fulfillment, promise. What's that weird energy, Holy Spirit? Archangel Michael. Yeah. These people are now trying to emotionally manipulate you out of some form of forgiveness. Whenever this happens, it's concerning at best. Okay. They need not come to you to ask for forgiveness. These are people that need to go to the divine and ask the divine to cleanse them of whatever this is and ask for forgiveness. Now, unfortunately, okay, their source is not divine source. Their source is demonic. So now they're begging the enemy, the devils, the demons, the spirits that they made deals with. They have to go to them because these spirits, these demons now hold their fate in their hands. The demons have the fate of these musty, crusty ass, rusty ass people. Yeah, their spirits are just unclean. We're just going to call them the unclean collective. There are a bunch of unclean spirits who do very nasty things. They work in nasty work, okay? Spirit is saying they need not come towards the divine, okay? They can try, but these contracts are very nasty. Thank you, Spirit. Close that door. I don't want to read it. Not interested. These people are projecting. I can't even say that this is a heavy projection. It's very weak. Very weak. These people don't have no place to go. They don't know what to do. Okay? Demonic, nefarious, diabolical people playing in nasty ass work. These people are mad because something that you have, something that source has granted you access to. I could be talking to an intuitive. Okay. I could be talking to somebody that does some form of divination. You could be a YouTube, TikTok reader, whatever this is, a private reader. I know a lot of readers that don't have a social media platform. They just work in private. Okay. Whoever you are a part of this unicorn anomaly, this divine collective with these very divine spiritual gifts. And these people said, we'll just steal it. But they needed you to give them access. Something's emergent. Something's happening right now. I hear sirens in the distance. I hear ambulances and police cars in the distance. These people lied to the devil and they're mad because the devil lied to them. Yeah, they didn't know that you were protected. Something about your spiritual security, okay? So let's talk about it. As one of my favorite high priestesses here on YouTube said, she puts it so beautifully. Her spirit is so amazing. She's a gem in the spiritual community. As she put it, she said, every time your name is mentioned in something spiritual in the ethers, alarms go off. Your angels know to rush to your aid immediately. That is their life's mission. They've been assigned to you for all of your lifetimes. Only they know your soul's mission. They are the ones that bring you information. They go out, they seek, they come back, they bring you information, something about celestial beings. These people did not know that you were protected by something they could not see. Something about your security, okay? That's not even from here. Something came from another planet. Mm, 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 mm. Thank you, Holy Spirit. What else? Yeah, I can't make this up. Look at the way. I love the angels. Big shout out 1010 on the timer to my angels for helping balance out the bullshit that I am not focused on, including my beautiful divine collective. Every prayer that I extend over myself, I extend that beautiful prayer by way of wish fulfillment to the divine collective, the people that are really in alignment, that see me in the ethers and I can see you. When I pray for myself, I pray for you too. Just know that we are covered. We got protection out of this world, like literally. This right here, this weird ass energy is weak. There's too much spiritual security here. And somebody doesn't know how to transmute it. Yeah, every time our names are mentioned in readings, telepathically, mentally, psychically, in these rituals, whatever this is, whoever they're going to, let's just say they take your name, a picture, baby, the bells go off. The practitioner who they're asking to do the work, their ears start to ring. That's a warning. 1111 on the timer, letting this person know that if anybody walks in and puts the collective's name on a paper, a picture, and asking for you to do some type of work, and there is an exchange of currency, you best believe you will be bound to that work. A lot of these people are working the people that ask them to do work over us. They don't even know they're being worked by their own practitioners. That'll teach them. That's the order of things. I can't make this shit up. Knowledge in the reverse. They tried to take your knowledge. They wanted to take your extraterrestrial, ET phone home energy. They wanted to talk to the same spirit guides, but they don't even speak the angelic language. I'm telling you, we go into realms of possibilities that these people couldn't even see. And this is not even an ego trip. This is what they failed to realize. This is us just being completely and totally done with the bullshit because they would have never have stopped. This was their life's mission to continue doing this. It's disgusting, it's musty, it's dusty, and the rusted nails working on top of somebody else's work is now something that they're bound to. These people were working in nasty work. Now they're mad. It's a contract. When it's contractual, you have to read the terms and conditions. What did you write? What did you sign to? What did you initial? In what type of way did you commit some type of spiritual robbery or larceny or the attempt of that? Because to be successful at doing this to a chosen one is something that will never, ever, ever, ever happen. So what happened? What contract did you sign up for in an attempt to embezzle somebody's source connection? Somebody wanted your connection to source. Somebody wanted your knowledge, your extraterrestrial, celestial, things that they had not attained over lifetimes. Your soul has attained this knowledge over ancient lifetimes, centuries. And somebody thought that a raggedy ass contract with El Diablo was going to snatch up your soul's mission and all the knowledge. Not only that, you have a higher level commitment to the spirit realm by way of integrity, by way of the creator, by way of the divine. Your contract will always trump these demonic ones. The terms and conditions are now under a microscope. We got spiritual investigators here because this is true collective energy. I love it. Hey, that Scorpio moon got me feeling a little like literally it's people getting their heads knocked off. Okay, begging for water, begging for some type of water. They're thirsty. They're all dried out, all cried out because the tears were never real. They never had any genuine, sincere intentions towards you. Look at your contentment. That's a blessing. Not even a blessing. That's a lesson. Okay, blissfully. Erase the word be less. Erase the word be lack. We're not black. We're knowledgeable. We will never lack anything. The divine is with us. This prayer covers the divine collective, the people that are really here with contentment in their spirits, happiness and gratitude, knowledge. You want to be happy. You are happy. You will continue to be happy. This prayer is extended to all four corners. Since these raggedy, dirty, dog-ass, musty, crusty bastards wanted to travel all over the world, somebody went to the people all over the world. They didn't know that the Most High God covered all four corners of this planet. But how can we be at all four corners when we say that the world is round? It's not making sense. These people went everywhere to try to take something from you. And they didn't think that the divine was walking with you. Now they effed around to find out these people don't have the right to be snapped out and unhinged and unstable over a decision that they made with the demons and the devils by way of the terms and conditions. They don't have the right to be angry because you didn't want to fall for their emotional manipulation. It's the audacity for the angels. Listen, they don't have the right to be out here spazzing out, getting angry because they couldn't rob you successfully, because their spiritual embezzlement was unsuccessful. And then they tried to project the shit onto you. No, you don't. You done pissed off something supernatural. I promise you that you can't even handle. A demon could never with this supernatural being. Some of these people thought that was it. I can't make it up. Something about you being empowered, something about you being powered up from something supernatural that they could never access. Spiritual gift, insight, fortune telling, divination. You're here to help people and guide them to the divine. The divine is saying your work is long from over. So why did these people try to cut your life short with some rusted nails, you nasty, dirty dogs? What you soaking them nails in? So you could project your nasty ass energy and attach onto us? I don't think so. Now you've been caught. Spiritual stalking is illegal. That's against spiritual law. Spiritually watching people that you're not supposed to be watching. Some of these people did have cameras on you. Some of these people were trying to rage bait you by way of placing cameras in your house and monitoring you. And guess what they found you doing? Saging and burning white candles. That's what they found. Some of these people wanted you to be this devil and demon so much because they were projecting so deeply for you to be like them and dirty and unclean. Oh, okay. This is supposed to be a humiliation situation, but you're connected to source. Divine truth is a stalker in the reverse, a spiritual spy, a negligent, nasty ass, roach ass invasion of privacy. Somebody wanted to spread through your life and see what you were doing. And guess what they found you doing? When the Most High God allowed these people to see you for who you were, who you are, who you've continued to be, they found you reading a book. They found you content. Oh, wow. They found you to be content. They found you to be very spiritually connected to the divine, okay? And then they went into contract with the devil. Oh, well, that was smart. So you found out that the chosen one was really chosen. When I mean chosen, I mean we're choosing the divine. Some people are calling themselves chosen ones and they're choosing death and they're choosing hell and they're choosing hate. They are the collective that is not of the divine collective that do divine things, period. Contract. Then you signed a contract. So you watched Collective first. Collective knew that you were watching, that you were sneaking and doing illegal divination, invasion of privacy. And then you went and said, oh, this person is a chosen one. Cool. I'm going to go into a contract with the devil. No, fool. You were supposed to see that this person was who they were and back off and go about your life. And hopefully that would have encouraged you to be delivered. But no, instead, you set up some type of hit. You set up some type of plot. You collaborated with other people that were collaborating with these contracts. You set up a sigil and you said, we're going to attack source. We're going to attack the divine. That's what you said. So you went into a demonic contract after you knew who the chosen one was. You cannot come into divine spiritual court and plead your case. You cannot get an extension on your life. You know why? Because you did it after the divine says, I showed you who they were. They can't sit in spiritual court. Excuse me if I testify. Yeah, excuse me if I testify. What do you mean? You're a liar. You're on fire. We don't need your testifies. We don't need your testimonies. We don't need you to testify. We can see that all you do is lie. Lie in bed, lie in wait, lie ready to strike behind the scenes like a diabolical, unclean spirit. You're a liar. You've been fired. You don't need to testify. The contract, everything is written here, the terms and conditions. Let it be stated that in divine spiritual court, the test has already been tested. The commitment has already been made. The divine has already put these contracts under some type of judgment. They tried to call a couple of witches out of retirement. That's what I just saw. Old ass witch, gray hair, Caucasian, drives a black little SUV. They called one of the craziest ones out of retirement. My nose is itching. She doesn't even do magic anymore, but she'll come out for emergency purposes. Oh, that's the truth. Corruption and bribe. They paid this person, an old ass lady, okay? She's non-assuming, okay? Italian, she's Italian, okay? She's old, 79. Okay, they called this old ass witch out of retirement. Why? Because this was an emergency. Because somebody had gotten themselves in a bad contract with a demon. And so they needed somebody that was a little bit more high ranked than them. But what this old ass witch didn't realize, you could very much be younger. You could be 22, 19, 20, 42, whatever. You're a lot younger than 79. You outrank this person. Okay, they called this witch out of retirement. She plays around with a little bit of everything. This is a seamstress, okay? She likes to sew things and patch things together to bind people. You outrank this little old ass witch. Somebody's too old to be out here acting a fool, taking on contracts when her ass came out of retirement. If she came out of retirement, this is a witch that has probably successfully unalived people or caused people harm. And she went into retirement begging the divine for additional life. I'll never, ever, ever, ever do this again. But guess what? After all these years, she went back into the dark. The sun is coming out outside. It's her time to go. She feels like she's tired anyway. I'm going to be honest. When witches come out of retirement for stuff like this, and they know they're taking a chance with a demonic contract to help somebody, they know that either their time has been up and they've just been on some type of extended agreement. Because if you haven't done this in years, why'd you go back into the dark after you promised the divine you wouldn't do this anymore? This is this kind of old ass witch. Now you're 79 years old. You come out of retirement over some contract that somebody made with the devil that backfired on them. They need your help. So you come out with your old ass, 79 years old, to get back into your demonic bag. You know your time is up. You're tired of being here. That's why. These are people that they are, they're not dumb. Okay. They know there's a chance that they could pass away, but this person is tired, 79 years old, okay? 79 is still very, very young. To be quite honest, people in the Bible were living 5,000 years old. This person is still a baby, okay? Especially when it comes to them doing these immature things. Somebody fell back into immaturity. I just heard twice a child, once a lady. Okay, so something about somebody reverting back to something in an immature state, doing demonic work after they promised the divine they would not. So why would you come out of retirement for somebody? Because that is like a suicide mission. Something was a trick. Something was attractive. Something made somebody feel like, let me see if I still got it. Okay, this old ass witch. Alluring. Something was attractive. It was a trick. They promised the divine. They were in retirement. Somebody hadn't done magic in years. Quagmire. It was a trap. They saw something. It was enticing. It was alluring. God had given this person a second chance. I don't know how they survived after all the bad things they did to people, but they came out of retirement. They saw something. They were a glutton. So it was gluttony. It was ego that brought them out of retirement. Yeah, it's very pretentious. They promised a friend, hey, I'll get this done for you. Show me this old ass witch. You're 79 years old. Now you look stupid because we see you in plain sight. Narcissist in the reverse. You got tricked. You came out of retirement. Somebody that was doing heavy black magic in their younger day, in their 20s and their 30s. They got everything that they wanted. They got a promotion. They got the man. They got the house. They got the car. This is a widow. Husband passed away. You got the insurance policy. You got 500,000. Now you old and you're 79 years old and you come out of retirement for a pretentious, superficial friend because you feel like you can do this. You've done it millions of times before. Why now? You came out of retirement for a contract and only to find out that it was a trap because the people that people were 30 years ago are not who they are now. You got supernatural beings walking the earth that have hearts as light as a feather. They can open up the seventh seal that we talk about in Revelations. Somebody came up out of retirement only to find out that their ass has been retired, that their magic is tired. Their shit is played out. This is what the creator is saying. Yeah, they tried to bind you, bind love, all this. This is a braggart. This is somebody that suffers from ego, okay? Yeah, they wanted to project this onto you. Now this shit is backfiring. Somebody's about to meet their maker. You came through all of that. You did all of that. Somebody took their girlfriend's husband, then they unalived the girlfriend in your 20s and your 30s. I see this old witch. So let's just read your spiritual contract. Since you came up out of retirement, you took some money, you were tempted, you're a narcissist, you're being exposed for that. You hadn't done spell work in over what? I just heard 19 years. What? You went into retirement for 19 years because so many people around you were dying. You lost a daughter, you lost a son in their 40s, young, 30. You lost people. So you stopped doing magic. Or this person could have been in their 30s or their 40s when they stopped doing magic. Because too many people were passing away. The husband passed away. You got the house. Then stuff was falling on your family, your bloodline. So you went into hiding. You retired. Okay, God, please, please, please. You begged, you cried, you screamed. You asked for God to forgive you. And God forgave you. And God allowed these spirits to move on. They weren't trapped here with you. These husbands, these people that you unalived your girlfriend. You even sat with her in her last days in terminal illness. You transferred your karma, and then you asked for your sins to be forgiven. And for 19 years, you minded your own business. And then somebody comes along with a contract that's tempting. You can't refuse. Yeah, show me, spirit. You can't refuse this contract. It was a trick because you forgot about the oath in your prayers after your husband died. Now you're 79, okay? You done basically lost everybody. Maybe that's why this person came out of retirement, because somebody's karma played out for 19 years. Somebody lost a daughter young. Somebody lost a grandchild. Somebody was losing people around them. And you came out of retirement, 19 years, and you allow somebody to bribe you and pay you, and you're a narcissist, okay? You forgot the prayers that you prayed to the divine to forgive you. But see, even in the 19 years, you really didn't get like the forgiveness that you thought. Karma still needed to be paid. And this is what this contract was. This was, you were the final sacrifice. You lost your husband, you lost your daughter, you lost your best friend, you slept with her husband, you did things to get promotions at work. Somebody could have been a secretary. Okay, when people used to have secretaries, I just heard switchboard. Somebody worked at a call center. Somebody, everything that they got was through witchcraft. The promotion, the job, okay, the supervisor's approval. And then you started losing things and losing people. Somebody even lost a pet, a dog. Wherever this 79-year-old woman is, she lost everything, okay? So now, 19 years later, you come your ass up out of retirement. You prayed to the divine. The 19 years when you were begging for forgiveness, the divine knew that you weren't sincere. Your spirit was being tested when somebody came along and asked you to do spell work after 19 years. It was a trap. It was a contract. The divine says, I know you couldn't resist it. I knew that you would turn away from the light. I knew that you weren't genuine in your prayers. You just thought you were skating and riding on thin air in 19 years, and you watched everybody else around you pass away. Narcissist in the reverse. A narcissist is somebody that does not like the Most High God. Let's start labeling these people by way of Western medicine, what they are in a spiritual aspect. Metaphysically, this is somebody that blasphemes the divine. They think that the divine is dumb. They can do a death spell. They can unalive children and unalive people. They just go read a passage in the Bible and they'll be forgiven and nothing will happen to them and they never look back. No, now we're going to make you look back. Now we're going to make you see what was under your feet, which was a trap door. This is what the divine is saying. These are the spirits coming through from the other side. The ones that you unalive, your husband, your daughter. This 79-year-old woman came up out of retirement for a fool, for an idiot that said, hey, we can get this done. So they did the work. They did the work. 19 years was mercy and grace. You've always been dead, even within the 19 years, because the Most High God knows all, sees all. Knew that in 19 years, after your karmic debt was cleared and you figured all the death on your family had already taken out everybody and that death couldn't come for you, the Most High God knew that 19 years later, you would fall for this trap, which will reveal that you were never truly of the divine. You were never truly sorry for what you did. Old ass lady. Now you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Now you're running. Where the hell you running to? You're too old to be running like that. Yeah. Who can I run to? The demon. That's who holds your fate. The devil. Huh? What? Yeah, you signed a contract. Pull out the contract. Exhibit A in spiritual court, divine spiritual court. Let the jury note that this person who's trying to defend themselves in divine spiritual court has no defense. They can't seek spiritual court counsel. They signed this contract. Now they run it. Time is up. It's too late to be afraid. I just heard you picked a fine time to be afraid. You picked a fine time to be afraid. Somebody's like, oh my God, this person really is blessed. What have I done? Oh my God. Remember, they're saying, I'm never wrong. You're wrong. 19 years. 19 years. And you watched everybody die around you. All your friends from high school. You didn't know that that was your karma. You thought outliving everybody was going to be something that would make you feel blessed. No, that was karma. That was karma. For you to be alone and to live out your days in loneliness. But you could even do that. So you took on a contract with the devil. That was karma. Everybody passed away around this woman. 79 years old. All her schoolmates, all her ex-co-workers. She did spell work on all of them. They all passed away. She tried to redirect death and she was successful, or so she thought. But now her time has come. Now death is on her ass. Death angels. It's a storm outside. When you hear that thunder shake like that, that's judgment. How can it be raining all over the world at the same time with thunderstorms? You better wake up. There is something here that is here to clean up this place and make all the crooked places straight. It's not a joke. I'm talking source, celestial, extraterrestrial, meaning this is stuff that's not even in these human beings' school books. They just discovered other planets that we created out in the galaxies. And when I mean we, I mean co-creation. Source is speaking through me. They're just discovering planets in the galaxy that have been there since forever that were very inconspicuous. They couldn't even see them with the naked eye. NASA didn't even have the right telescope. And then you come back down to the pissy ass 3D and you have an old ass witch that comes out of retirement because a demonic contract is tempting her into being in her narcissistic energy because 19 years she's been able to skate around death and escape death and everything around her has died. That was her karma. When her dog died, she cried because then she really didn't have nobody. She don't have anybody to send a Christmas card to. She doesn't have anybody to send a birthday card to. 79 years old, you're outdated. And you brought your ass up out of retirement. You didn't know that you were attacking a supernatural being, somebody that traveled from the future, that saw you 19 years ago. 19 years ago, we already knew what you were going to do and you did it. Congratulations, your time is up. Too old, you came up out of retirement. Your karma was living alone to fix yourself. The mercy and grace was God allowing you to be stripped of everybody that showed you love and for you to be here and live out your days. This woman was going to live long. That was her karma. Everybody I was mad at is dead. Everybody I attacked is dead. That was her karma. Why? Because God was leaving her longer in the earth to sit with herself. When God starts stripping things and people and places away from you, he's saying every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. That Christ Jesus is no longer the sacrificial lamb. The sacrifices have been made. Now it's time to collect. You have a divine collective here to collect. This woman was supposed to live out her days in mercy and grace under an oath, a new oath that she took with the divine. Divine took everybody away from her. Everybody. So now her days are cut short. Chaos magic. This person sent chaos, confusion. Clarify. You came up out of retirement. Parents. Clarify. You came up out of retirement. Alpha. Clarify. You came up out of retirement. Poison. Clarify. You came up out of retirement. Old ass lady came up out of retirement. For people in your family. People in your family did this. They wanted to prove that you were crazy in court. The goal was to prove that you were crazy. But in order to do that, they called on the old ass witch to do some type of chaos magic. You're supposed to be running outside. Ah, my God, screaming at the neighbors. Bullshit. I saw a tarot card reader do that one time. Stupid. Turn off the camera and go get some help. Screaming at your neighbors, pulling a gun, losing your children, spazzing out, letting these demons all in your mind and your house and your chaos, and you advertised it and you projected it. Then you came back like nothing had happened. You had a whole nervous breakdown. If you're not strong enough in this spirit realm, people will try to take you out. You have to really have a real relationship with Source. You have to decide where you stand. A real relationship, real conversation with the divine. And if you can't get in touch with the divine, you pray until you can. You can't force yourself on Source. Either Source is with you, you're getting direct downloads, or you're not. And if you got some trickster spirits because you playing around behind the scenes in the dark when you think that the light is not in the dark and you're making contracts, you're fooling with some trickster spirits that'll tell you to do anything. They'll be like, yeah, buy those cards. And the cards are demonic. Portals, accesses, symbols. I wish I would have some cards in my house that I got to bury in a box with some salt. That don't make no damn sense. Why? Pay attention. Alpha energy, poison energy, siblings, brother. You got family members here that called an old ass witch out of retirement. This person didn't have anything to lose. That's why they did this. Whoever this old ass witch is, she didn't have nothing else to lose. She's lost everything and everybody. Her dog died. Yeah, now she doesn't even have a, what is it called? I forget, a pet. Emotional pet or something like that. She doesn't have that. So she took on a contract, technology. Somebody has your number. They are the scam likeliers. Every time the energy rises up or something breaks off, they call you on the phone. These are scam likely people. You don't even know these people. You're getting area codes of 925, 404, 424, 213. These are places that you ain't never even been. Why? Because they're trying to hack into your device. Spiritually, though. Okay? Using technology spirits. There is a such thing. It's Ogun energy. Where your phone is made of precious metals. That's why they want you to recycle your phones. Wake up. Got copper, metal. Pay attention to your ear gates. Take the earbuds out. That's radiation. Take you some copper to combat all this radiation and technology. This is what they did. You're a divine feminine. You're somebody that's very abundant. And you got a raggedy ass family member that's obsessed with you that called on a 79-year-old witch, paid her to make you look crazy so they can go into court and get some type of power of attorney over you. Why? Because you're wealthy and you don't even know it. And when I mean wealthy, I mean by way of the world standards. It's like you know it collective, but you're so wealthy in spirit and so content with whatever Source is giving you because you know that the divine always takes care of you. These people are focused on something that they need from you. These people got to pay their bills. They want the money. They're 3D people. And they really are concerned about you coming into a healthy union because love is a very powerful element. It's a very powerful energy. This old ass witch came up out of retirement. This person could have been driving past your house or they could have been digging up dirt, graveyard dirt. This grave that this old ass witch dug is the one that they're going to be in. They should get comfortable. Spirit says they won't be able to reincarnate for another 500 years. Somebody tried to tap into your Egyptian etymology and found out that you represent all bloodlines, all of them. And that you've alchemized the demonic ones. So if somebody tries to come up against you, the angels and the demons, they rock with you. The spirits that they sent after you are the ones that are now helping you to take them out. Isn't that crazy? The same demons that they talk to, the same demons that they talk to are now the ones that are taking them out. When you reach a certain rank like this and the angels and the demons rock with you, it's because Source is the one that's commanding them, not you. We don't need to call on demons. You barely even really need to call on your angels because your angels already know what they're supposed to do. They're always invoked. They never stop being invoked. All you have to do is walk and do what the divine tells you to do. Because if you stop by the wayside on your path every 5 minutes to call a demon or call an angel or call whatever or call for protection, when do you ever really get to walk comfortably and just glide and just float on your path? No, they're already invoked. When they hear your name, when the demons hear your name, child, the bells go off in hell. The bells go off in the underworld, in the heavens. When they take a picture to a doggone practitioner to do spell work with rusted ass nails, the alarms are sounded, security system in the ethers. The angels and the demons get the doggone acknowledgement. Ding, 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 ding. Everything goes off. I ran into a demon the other day at the movies. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. A racist one, but he was finding it difficult to be racist because he had been taught that hate. He saw, damn, black people, or not even black, melanated people, they're really nice. But I did give him a little bit of fire. I could tell the way he was kind of coming with a little, Towards the end, he wanted a hug. Racism is taught. It's the most lowest vibrational. These are people that have already been erased from the program. They just refuse to lose consciousness, or they've lost consciousness and they don't even know they have. Racist people refusing to lose consciousness, or accepting the fact that they've already lost consciousness. These are nobodies going nowhere, no time soon. That's what Spirit just said. This is the message, y'all. I love y'all, okay? Remember to take what resonates, leave what does not. I will be back with more readings. Thank you for watching Spiritual Core TV. If this resonated, then you know what to do. Follow your spirit. I love y'all. Peace be with you.